Howdy, everyone. I'm making sure all of my widgets are started. All of my widgets are started. Okay. Well, there we go. We started all of our widgets. Hope everybody is having a nice evening. Full of nice evenings. Try to find a better place. Although this is just water, so if somebody, I won't name any names, decides to jump up here and spill my water, at least I've got some better options. Good evening. Earlier. Maybe this is the idea. With this here, put this here. And Viola, Bob's your uncle. You're our uncle. You didn't even know it. All right. I was kind of having fun with the picture I was doing. I'm going to continue with that one. Although I like that this is just completely black. I don't even know what... There's nothing even in here. I don't even think you're actually working properly. I'm not even sure that that's even working with my... Oh, well. What do I know? All right. Where we left off. Ish. I've gone out and found a picture of Chris's hard suit being opened. I'm gonna go with that one and see what happens. Right, kind of goes around to the side here. This moves forward. Also noticing this is more rounded. You can see it kind of going around the front there. This is less individual boobs. More sort of a singular unit. Found a 3D printed model of this pose, sort of. I'm going to work on that. So, yep, kind of moving through here. We're a little late today because we've been rewatching Star Trek The Next Generation, and we are in the middle of third season in, like, the place to be. So we were watching yesterday's Enterprise tonight. Still an excellent episode. It came right after an episode called A Matter of Perspective. This was a good episode. Matter of Perspective is one of those episodes that I always will remember fondly because I had moved out at this point in time, was living on my own, and was watching that episode as it aired. And my mother called out of the blue and said, "Okay, how did they do it?" I mean, that was literally the way she started the episode, or started her. I answered the phone and she goes, "Okay, how'd they do it?" And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You're watching Star Trek, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "How did they do this scene? Riker just walked behind himself. How did they do this?" Now, you guys probably know my mother worked in the industry. She was a producer and a talent agent. So she wanted to know if I had read something somewhere about this episode. Hey, Cayen. She wanted to know if I had seen something or read something about how they made that episode. cracked me up but that'll always be a fond memory for me of my mom calling and saying, "I don't know how they do this. How did they do this? Tell me how they did this." And the thing that was so cool about it is I probably had moved out. Hey, Brent, I'd probably moved out 6 months. I'd only been out of the house for about 6 months. So this was really kind of mom's way of saying, you are still family, you still belong to the family, da 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 da, in her own way. But I thought it was just really cool. It's still one of my favorite memories of. Due to temps, you will be in the duck pond. I thought we fixed the temps. I thought it wasn't so horrible out there anymore. Good night, love. Oh, absolutely. We did, but now we don't. I have a feeling what's going on out there. I wanted you to knock over my water, I'd let you. Put it in for they put it SP1 about you. Oh, really? You're just knowing that I'm on to you because you're trying to knock over my water. Good. My placement. No, George is George. Yes, I figured that was what you were referring to. Hey, Ken, I'm working on Pris. I'm doing a how far have I advanced thing. Look over here. There we go. There we go. This is the how far have I come since 1991. Yeah, so I'm doing a draw it again. That's what I'm doing. All right. And part of the reason we're having a problem I mean, I'm pretty pleased that back then I got enough of her fingers correct. But yeah. So that's what we're doing over here. I wanted to take a little bit of a break, a breather. So I'm doing a draw it again. Besides, I never got to draw the Moto Slave. So I'm into the idea of drawing the Moto Slave again. Part of the problem is this piece is not correct at all. Well, I just wanted a good solid challenge, but yeah. But I'm also noticing I didn't do this right. For two reasons. One, and I'm noticing that's part of the reason why this isn't going correctly at all. Because if you look at where these arms are set up, arm, so the center should be here. And it's bowed back like so. So when we saw the thing, she stepped into it with both legs, and the legs were split like this, and she stepped in and then pulled the bottom part up onto her hips, and then leaned forward, put her arms into the arm pieces, and then leaned back, and the two shells snapped together. We are between those two positions. She has put her feet into here, and now she's reaching over and grabbing her hair to make sure that all of her hair is behind her before she leans forward into the front part of the suit. So that's where we are. And we are crooked on this, I think. I mean, not a whole lot of crooked, just a little bit of crooked. Which is what's the greatest part about being in the pencil mode, is that I can just go on ahead and just adjust a little bit here. Yep. You didn't have to worry about with Lena and Sylvia because they both had short hair. unless it was 2040. Because in Bubblegum Crisis 2040, Sylvia had long hair. Just not capturing the curve of this like I want, because this curves forward. Commander Quackers! I agree. You need to make a poster of Commander Quackers. That is a thing, and it must be done. I am so on board with this plan. So this should curve. And part of the reason we're having a problem is it needs to curve. There we go. Crew of salty ducks. It's the one thing that this part right here, and the reason why I'm doing this by hand, of course, we want to see how far I've come before we decide that, we want to show the progress on this. So I didn't use 3D modeling for the previous drawing at all. So I can't use 3D modeling for this one. However, this is the reason why we don't use why we use 3D modeling for my comic is right here. Because as much fun as this is, and it is a lot of fun, we're already about 3 hours down to this point in the drawing. Because I was drawing on it this afternoon too, while watching Mulan, because Mulan. So, should have watched Bubblegum Crisis. Hard to find BGC though. That said, don't think that there isn't power suits in Bellatrix Rising. We just haven't seen them yet. But we will. Could be interesting. R is there as in Sailor or Sailor Moon R? I mean, I might be a completely... Oh. Yeah. I'm with you. It's like calling initial DD not a totally inaccurate assessment. But I mean, you end up having to say Kyokyu Kuchojin. And that's so hard to say. So. All right. First things first, we've messed up the shoulders because these need to be in and those rolled, which is fine. Kind of a bummer this looked cool that way, but the truth is that yeah. Ultimate Superman R. No. Japanese works. I know what show you're talking about. Well, that's good. I'm glad you were cleaning up your Patreon. Seeing as how we probably ought to maintain all this stuff, we're so bad at it. I'll come back and mess with it. Yeah, I just have a instant thought to go to Sailor Moon R. That's all. Sorry about that. No, it doesn't. I am doing a redraw there, Colton. So, 100 years ago, when I was a young pup, I drew this picture, and you can tell exactly when I drew it. Right there. So, this is my redraw. And I think this drawing took me probably, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours to do, to get to here, with lots of erasing. So I'm fine as long as we're spending 4 or 5 hours. We're good. Oh, hey, send me that link, Bob. I am horribly curious about the fall apart Mick. Oh man, Most Beata. There's another, if I ever have time to mess with it, moment. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for the Legios. Yeah, Legios will always be one of my favorites. Thank you. I will watch that with great interest. Because you know I love Most Piata. Yeah, Most Piata is so good. So good. Yep. It doesn't matter. That's one of the shows where I don't have a preference. I'll watch it in English and I'll watch it in Japanese, and I really don't care either way. I don't have. I mean, I've got very strong preferences on certain shows. It is fun to watch Sailor Moon in English, but I can't really stand it after a long while. But like Kiki's Delivery Service, I don't really like the Japanese as much because of Phil Hartman and his version of Gigi. So like I have strong opinions as to usually where it falls, but that is not true of most Piata. And then if it's Macross, I'll watch it in either mode, but I have a very strong feel in the. I feel like it needs to be part of whatever lore I'm in. Like if I'm in a Robotech mood, I'll watch Macross in English, but if I'm watching like Macross 7 or something like that, then I'll watch it in Japanese. It doesn't hurt that I have actually met and spent time with Mari Ijima, and so I prefer her all the time just because I know Mari, and so she's a sweetie and I like her and she's really kind to me, and so it was one of the perks of being in ops at the time when Mari needed to go find a place to eat during the con. And so I was like, hey, and then Becca just assigned her to me. I was like, but you're what? You're what? You've assigned Mari Ijima to me? The Mari Ijima? You know. So after I got done being thunderstruck, I got to spend time with her, and she speaks fluent English. So she didn't need a translator, which was cool. Maze, all I gotta say is, Cayen, that sounds like a corny game. I mean, like, seriously, I can't expect that you did not think I was going to do that. I'm just saying. Also, I'm not going to forget the name. Because I made that joke. I mean, I figure if it's maize, then odds are good it is about corn. So, I mean, like, that's a... You know, I mean... Sentient corn. Okay, I'm even more on board now. I mean, you had me at dad joke, but, you know. All right. The best part about this, and by the way, if you're wondering, you know, why am I not doing the work on the things that I need to do, which is probably exactly what our beloved Brent is wondering about at this moment. Every so often, I have to draw something that does not involve maquettes, does not involve 3D objects in the background, but is just my skill alone. The problem is, the things that I draw that are just my skill alone are better than my drawings with maquettes. And I know that. But the maquettes are faster. So I am sacrificing quality for speed so that I can get more stories out, because I don't have a billion years to write. I don't know if Cayen wasn't watching this morning, but Bob was, when I was going through all of the folders in Bellatrix Rising of the 3 acts that make up the arc of Bellatrix Rising, but there are 50 episodes of 3 issues apiece. So, I don't have the time to do all of those by hand draw. We're going to have to do something, because my speed here, it's been, well, like I said, that was 91. This is today. 91 was 30 years ago. Obviously my drawing is better today than it was 30 years ago. But the truth of the matter is, this is still too slow. I haven't gone much faster. So, I don't draw like Cayen does. I don't have that speed. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not a knock on myself. I don't hate myself or whatever. It is what it is. But it also means that I don't have there will be no way I will ever get my comics done if I don't use maquettes. So, every so often, I want to draw a picture that does not require the use of maquettes. This does a couple of things. One, it proves that I can do it. It proves that I'm capable of doing it. And so, that's what we're doing here. And a redraw is not a bad plan. We can fix this. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Ow! So I figured I would join the redraw circus. And redraw something that I had drawn back in the 90s. And then we will do the whole process, and we will film it. And then if anybody, including me, because this is more for me than it is for anybody else. And that is, if anybody, including me, decides that I'm some kind of hack for using maquettes, I can remind myself that I am far more than capable of doing this. You know why this doesn't work? Because it's really right here. And that's why. Anyway, so that's the reason and the purpose for this quick little detour here. It is my imposter syndrome. It is not actually what I believe. Don't worry about it. But I do feel like every so often I need to just kind of do this to make sure that I still have my mad drawing skills. and I appreciate that. And I'm not. So early on, very, very early on, maybe it might have been 2004, 2005, thereabouts. I discovered the idea of tracing the maquettes, and I was employing that in Tamerlan. And not being wise, I had posted it to the artwork. I had posted the artwork to something, rec.arts. I don't know, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's not important. But I had posted it, and it caused backlash. People, first they said, "This is excellent art. How did you do it?" And not being smart enough to think twice, I answered truthfully and said, "Oh, I took a 3D maquette out of DAZ 3D and traced over it to build this." And they said, "Well, that's tracing. You're not actually drawing." And I said, "Well, no, I'm actually drawing. This is much faster." And they're like, "Well, that's not. It's not. You're not drawing. You're tracing." And there was a lot of "you're not a real artist," and it was similar in sound to what we hear today from people for AI art, and enough that I've had sort of a little bit of a PTSD response to the AI art stuff, but not because of the AI art, just because of the response was very similar. And so for years, because on the flip side, I managed to put out a comic book for the first time in my life because I did the maquettes. Because this takes so long that I would get ADD frustrated and blip out and freak out and all of the things that ADDers do. And I would do that, and that would be the end of it, and we wouldn't get anything. So for years, I wasn't completing comics. And anyway, so when I finally did the maquette thing, I was able to complete and finish a comic and a story, and that propelled me to finish many more because it was completed. But that backlash left a scar, and the scar was pretty brutal. And Bob, for a while that was exactly what I did. I told no one that was the case. I told no one how I did it, why I did it, etc. I just kept it hidden. But that felt even more disingenuous. And then I joined Red Team Go, and the other Bob in our group, Oi Bob, I told Oi Bob that in sort of I have to make a confession, sort of way. And Oi Bob's response was, "That's freaking genius. So you've managed to save a bunch of time by doing this? Oh, I wish I had thought of that, And I was like, "It's genius?" Well, it's been long enough now that, I actually was like, "Wait, what do you mean it's genius?" Right? Because I didn't know. I was like, "Oh, I don't think it's genius. I think it's stupid." It's like, so it was difficult to kind of do a change, but part of this was because I hadn't said anything to anybody from 2006 through 2000, whatever that was, 2014, 2015, whenever it was I finally joined Red Team Go, I had told not a soul. I mean, obviously, like, it was so it was like I hadn't told anybody. So I just assumed that I was cheating for that entire time. I assumed I was cheating. I'm a tracer, yada yada yada. I'm not really a good artist, because that thought process that I got early on stuck with me. And so, anyway, after Oibob said that, I was like, And then I reevaluated. And then I met Cayen, and Cayen reinforced that this was not a stupid thing. I wasn't tracing. He reinforced that. And then I met, all of the other guys in Red Team Go. But that little voice from those guys in that forum, which, by the way, that forum is long gone. The people are somewhere else now. The forum is long gone. Everything. That voice stays with me in a lot of ways and makes me question. So, every so often, I have to do this. Just to make sure. Because one of the people who was not mean, but was trying to be decent, said, well, maybe you're using it for speed, but you're going to lose your regular skills because you're relying on it. It's a crutch. And so that's where this comes from. Is it a crutch? Do I still have my main skills? So that's where we are. It is a tool. It is a tool. It makes everything run super fast. Yeah, it was a Usenet, and no, it doesn't, but it did in 2004. That's why I said the area where we were talking no longer exists. Because it was Usenet, and Usenet, I think there's some form of Usenet that's out there, but the original posts from Usenet are complicated and difficult to get. But either way, I don't want to find them. I don't need to see this again. You know what I mean? I don't need to go through that trauma. So I think finally, you guys have convinced me that I'm not cheating. And that took a few years, And for a while there, I really was sure I was cheating. Being a fake artist and not doing the real thing. I wasn't a real artist. I was a fake artist. And so, anyway. And it is a tool. But even then, I'm still slightly nervous every time some new person comes onto our channel while I'm copying or tracing over Chang, I still sort of hide that and don't mention it and don't talk about it. There's still a little bit of shame that's built in, which is why people keep saying online, they're like, hey, I have a right to my opinion. You do, but you have to be aware that those opinions hurt. And when you make those opinions, whatever opinions they are, that's inflicting pain, and you are choosing to do that. And that is a choice. And I get to call you a jerk for it, I was thinking that today I was reading on the Sims, in the Sims subreddit, somebody was having a problem with a thing showing up on their sim. And turns out that it was a choker that was showing up, and there's nothing, they couldn't get it out in CAS and stuff like that. And I've never seen it before either. And somebody said, oh, it's part of Wicked Whims. Um, I appreciate that. And somebody had said that was part of Wicked Whims. Wicked Whims is the sex mod for Sims 4. Okay, cool, no problem. But somebody came on there and went, "Why don't you just watch porn? This is stupid." And I was like, "Why shame them? What difference does it make? What? I mean, you're assuming a whole bunch of stuff about Wicked Whims." I'm like, but not only that. And then he said, he said, "I'm entitled to my opinion." And I'm like, well, yeah, but you're striking out on these people. You're hitting them. You're entitled to hit them, and we're entitled to call you a jerk for it and kick you out. I mean, that's the way it goes. Right. Well, and that's the thing. My problem with AI art is, now that we've played with it a while, I'm seeing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not getting what I want out of it anymore. I'm not seeing the poses that I want. I'm feeling like I don't have dynamics. And I feel like that's a thing I need to figure out. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, people are absolutely entitled to their opinion. I'm entitled to call them out for trying to hurt people, because you're hurting people. It's not an opinion to sit there and say your thing is stupid. That's an opinion, but you're intentionally trying to hurt people, and that's not acceptable. So there we go. That's more like what that should look like. So, I mean, it's a thing. And it's because, I was hurt for years because of somebody's opinion. Their opinion was that I was cheating. And I took that. Right? I definitely internalized that. Well, sure. And I think that's the thing. We got a taste of freedom, right? With the internet, the first time the internet came around, we got the freedom to see, believe, and talk as we really think, without any repercussions, because you didn't know me and I didn't know you, and I was just Tim 47370, which may or may not be my real name, right? So you could say whatever came to your mind, and sometimes people just have dumb, stupid ideas. They're dense. They didn't quite grasp the whole picture. We can't. There's too many pieces in this world. We can't grasp all the pictures. So people got used to that, and now it's become the tradition. So people who don't know anything about what's going on can just pop in and make a stupid comment and hurt your feelings and hurt you and things like that. And Bob, you're right. You said it was jealousy. It does take a lot of work to make these things work correctly. It takes a lot of work, and it's not easy, right? We've had that discussion many times. Even with the maquettes, this takes time and effort, and it's difficult.
And you have to 3D model the maquettes.
Yes. You're like, I'm over you talking and not being able to defend.
Like, I'm sitting there going, I am losing my mind here because I'm having to type this out.
You might as well just join.
Yeah. I have my camera turned off. I'm just doing audio.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally fine. But and understand, I am recovering.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel this way anymore. I'm really, what's happening is I've discovered a long time ago that that what I'm kind of trying to get at is that it does hurt. Your opinions hurt. I wouldn't say, it would be one of those things like, let's say, Can, you had a big mole in the middle of your forehead or whatever. And we all saw the mole and we all knew about the mole. Nobody's going to come up and go, that's an ugly mole on your forehead. Hey, I'm entitled to my opinion. We know better, And that's the biggest thing. And that's like...
And some people want to be asshats to be asshats. I mean...
It's a power play.
Yeah.
Like Bob had said, they're jealous. They don't have, and he's right. And it's because they don't have control in their life. And I understand that. But it doesn't stop it from hurting.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop it from doing long-term damage.
It depends on the age of the person as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk to younger me, like when I was still in high school, I was an asshole. Like, sure. I will admit that. Particularly to digital artists, because I didn't believe that digital art was a real thing at the time. I believed you had to be a pen and paper artist. And I have since grown.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that's funny, and I'm chuckling because I did too. And that's why I'm chuckling. I'm like, oh God, me too.
Yeah. But it's like the AI art now. It's, do I necessarily think a person who only does prompts is an artist? Not necessarily, but I think a person that uses AI art to help them visualize things or to get ideas, I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Sure. And me too. And I think that's... I think if they had figured out a way with the AI to make it so that it was easily identifiable, watermarked in some digital way, they'd solve the problem. Yeah. Because I don't think anybody minds me using everybody's art and hashing it together to come up with a concept that I never use in public. They have a problem with me hodgepodging your art and, say, Colton's art together to come up with something and then calling it mine. But if I took something you drew yesterday and stuck a head from Colton's character on it, and then drew that without tracing or whatever, but drew that, neither one of you would have a problem with it.
Yeah. And like the maquettes, I'm actually a little jealous at your ability to do 3D art to get the maquettes. Like, I am not good with that. Like, when I watch you make the maquettes from scratch, I am in awe of that skill. That is a high level skill I do not have.
And I appreciate that. You do know the human maquettes, though, were created by Daz. I just made mods to them. Right?
Yes, but
the machines are all mine.
You still modified the maquettes.
Yep, totally modified the maquettes. But yeah, I have to quantify. I feel very much like I need to quantify that. I didn't build those human models from scratch. That's a lot of polys. However, every machine that's in here I built from scratch. And you guys have watched me. You've watched me build the Kitty Wake from scratch, and now she's a full-fledged model with movable parts. All of the flaps move, and all of the things move. Yeah. But I also feel like my artwork is 50% humans and 50% machines, as all of the interest of my world. So anyway, I appreciate you trying to buff me up here a little. I appreciate that. I will reiterate that I do not feel bad now. You actually are the reason why I do not feel bad. quite literally. It was
You can't see it, but I am giving you the thumbs up.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you literally sitting across from me at the Perkins and going, "Hey, that's pretty cool," and not going, "So you're cheating, huh?" You know, like right off the bat, I was like, "Oh, hey, it's George to step on."
No, it's a brilliant idea. I've
Yep.
always loved your use of maquettes.
Yeah. Either way, though, I still feel like every so often, if nothing else, to just make sure I haven't lost my skills in real world, I feel like I need to do this.
I think, if anything, your skills have gotten better.
I think so too. And
we both push each other.
I think so too. I love pushing you, and I love when you push me. I know that sounds weird because it sounds like we're playground bullies. I go over to Cayen, push. Like frickin' George and my coffee this morning. Ugh. Nah, he didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, I agree. I think you have made amazing leaps and strides, though. You've really moved along.
Of course, I'm also like, my output has like gone through the roof too.
Well, yeah, just as long as you don't burn yourself out, we're okay.
Yeah. Hi, Tess.
Right. Hey, Tessa. Well,
we have Raiders tonight.
Oh, I hope not, because it's just me. Yeah, Tessa. So one of the things that I was talking about was that it's a little different, and it's one of the reasons why I feel like guilty about it and everything like that, because this is without a maquette at all. I just picked a pose, and then I've been working off of the master picture here of Chris, and just transferring her over. But the truth is that one of the things that I do with the maquettes is I have taken these 3D models and shaped them to the shapes of my characters. And that way I can pose them, render them, and then I can just almost effectively go straight to ink right over them. But a lot of people feel like since I'm not actually blue lining, I'm just literally tracing over the maquette. They feel, that was what was happening. And what I was saying was in the beginning in 2004, I was on rec.arts.something. I don't remember, rec.arts.art, rec.arts, on the Usenet out there somewhere, and explained my process. And somebody I got like, it was a horrible backlash. 5-6 people, teaming up, dogpiling on how I was not a real artist and all I was doing was tracing. And so I went underground and never told anybody this until I joined Cayen's group of Red Team Go. Yeah, well, and it's rotoscoping is really what it is. It's rotoscoping. But the point is that I'm good now. But from 2005 to about 2015, for 10 years, all of that was underground. I didn't tell anybody how I did it, and I didn't let people know that was how I was doing it. And one of the more reasonable people in that thread had said, well, it probably isn't really cheating so much as you're going to lose your skill. you won't be able to continue to draw normally because of that. And so that's why I started the tradition of doing this, which is drawing straight up without any with a light reference and just something to show me where the armor pieces are, and that's it. And so I've taken to that tradition of doing it, but I'm okay now. I mean, I appreciate that everybody's jumping to my defense. I really do. The internet was a wilder and nastier place. The long and the short of it, though, is that was what I was saying was when I was on r/sims4 or r/sims this morning, and somebody had a problem with one of their sims, and it turns out that the problem was caused by Wicked Whims, which is a sex mod for Sims. And this guy is like going, well, why would you do that? It's a waste. He was just really mean. And his whole argument was, it's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. And I was like, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, but they still do damage. I spent 10 years damaged because of somebody's opinion. It's just their opinion. Yes, she will be reflective because of what I was. And you guys spend hours trying to convince me.
I know.
All because of some idiot's opinion.
And trying to talk you back down off the cliff of, no, what you're doing is fine.
Right, I know. And all because of some idiot's opinion. Although I am, like I said, I'm fine. I'm doing fine now. I'm okay. I still hesitate a little. Like I said, I have a little bit of hesitation when new people join the thread because I keep trying to explain. I feel like I need to explain. Trust me, I do this for speed reasons, to be faster, and not because I'm incapable of the skill. I feel like I need to say that, and it's But the other thing is, recently I've kind of come to the realization that the things that I'm attracted to are machines and mecha and things like that. So it seems actually kind of, in its own way, very serendipitous that I use 3D objects for it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that seems very appropriate.
Well, and I think, honestly, you're one of the best things to have come out of 3D modeling is the maquettes, because like you could do Transformers so much easier, or even something that's more mechanical, and help you draw it and have it be correct.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here fighting with. I've been fighting with this plug suit this hard suit all day because it's hard to get all these angles and all these pieces, and I've got to in my head. Well, you're probably right, Bob. That was a deep wound. It was a deep wound that probably is. That hurt a whole lot more than it should. Especially since I thought I was being clever. You know what I mean? I think that's part of what hurt. And I was being clever. But I thought I was.
You were ahead of your time.
Yeah. But I thought I would have been praised for coming up with something cool. Chris in a plug suit would definitely be something different. Just saying.
And
Bob,
wounds
I'm
can,
starting to think I need to make Priscilla plugs.
and wounds can really, really screw you up. I mean, look at how many long conversations we've had about my speed.
Mm-hmm.
Because my speed is the result of my father actively trying to stop me from becoming an artist.
Right, because you had to get it out fast before he caught you effectively.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, that's sort of the and it's true, and it's like, you know, and of course my speed comes from having ADD and knowing that I have only a short amount of time before my attention span wanders, and I won't be able, because I'm already kind of starting to wander on this picture. It's already taken too long. You know, it's like, but I'll get it finished. We'll finish it. I'm just already feeling like I'm feeling pressure. But yeah,
Don't make me break out the whip and shock monkey.
again. And I agree, Tessa. That's the thing, is people hide behind, it's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. And I immediately retaliate with, yes, and we as a community are entitled to kick you out for it. That's the way I feel about it. And I'm too old now. I'm too old to give a crap. So you do that and I'll kick your butt out. I don't care. And you can call me all the names you want, but you know. He goes in Mackey's Mecca. Oh, you're going the other direction. Asuka in a hard suit. Ooh. I have a certain amount of love for Asuka as well, and I always will. She is one of my old school favorites. Let's see if I can find what I was looking for here. I have no idea if that, well, if I started a thing.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave.
Guys.
David's here.
Okay, good. You added him. Thank you.
What up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's up?
Just living. Thankfully, today's my Friday.
Well, that's good, I think.
Hell yeah, it's good. I'm gonna work tomorrow. I hate working.
Oh, that's a smart idea too. I love my Pose dolls. My legitimate real life maquettes, but I end up just making little stories and having them dance around and stuff. It's so much funny. So I kind of lose coherency. I have them, they're right over there, actual maquettes. And I just you know, it gets much more fun to play with them and make little
Guy
stories.
is playing with his dolls again.
Totally playing with my dolls. It's horrible.
Hey, you're not drawn today?
What's up?
You're not drawn today?
I'm currently in the back bedroom because the temperature dove too much.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
I assume the back bedroom is warmer.
Yeah, I can bunker it up so it becomes a hell of a lot warmer back here.
Good.
Trying to see if I can find that. There is a picture I did once.
It was adorable.
So Tess was playing Maze earlier today, and it was hilarious because some of the item descriptions had your character strapping on like mundane objects onto their body. Like they grabbed a chair and put a chair as a hat on their head.
I could see that.
I could see you doing that, David. I feel like you do that.
I do that at work.
Right?
David, I'd name the space duck.
The what?
The space duck that's in the corner for Quack.
Oh, okay.
That's Commander Quackers.
I like Commander Quackers.
Like in the crackers?
Isn't that great?
Commander Quackers. I mean, I would assume something would have been quack related for the name for him.
So I'm going to do a poster for Commander Quackers so that when we do cons, we can advertise Quack at the cons, the conventions, right at the table.
See, Tessa, I have, and these are the Kotobukiya ones, so that they're double jointed. So you have them too. Oh my. Yes, with the extra elbow piece and the extra knee piece that they can actually like kneel and sit Seiza and go, oh my.
I also added
Way
two
too
more
much.
things to my Redbubble shop.
Oh?
Yeah, it's a Sinner's Crown and a Black Church. They look good.
Oh no, your female one broke? I even got the little girl one and the little boy one too. They are creepily anatomically correct because they're Japanese, but still really cool.
Yeah, I made stickers of my stuff. They're coming in.
Yeah, and your stuff is so good on.
Thanks. Although my Sinner's Crown one, I'm thinking about doing a sweater for because it looks that good.
Painful, man. That's painful. So, just so we are all cognizant and aware, these are the actual cells from Bubblegum Crisis. Said because they're scans from a buddy of mine who actually owns these. They're on his wall. So, I'm looking at them to see where the joints are because they're actually better than the pictures that are over here. on specific joints. I'm right here, George. I'm right here. Weirdo. I'm right here. He's lost. Yeah, I know, right? I'm jealous of it too, but that's where I got my background of hi, weirdo. I've spotted you. You're not, in fact, invisible like you think you are. He thinks he's invisible. Nobody can see him, you see. I don't know, man. He's a weird cat.
Hey, David, check your Facebook Messenger. I sent you a picture I did yesterday on the show.
Nice, nice. It looks like she's ready to fuck somebody up.
Yep.
I love it.
George?
No, stop. I don't want multiple. Please stop.
You're not talking about me.
No. I got mentioned in a comment and I clicked on it and it brought up the show.
Oh,
So everything was starting to double up.
this was a picture I drew in 1994. Not bad for 94.
No?
Like I said, I live my life somewhere in Mecca and somewhere. Here's another picture that was not, in fact, done with maquettes. Well, that's a hard suit that I could use. Or this one, not done with maquettes either. I think the funniest part about this one was I was going to write this comic before the Sydney Olympics. And so I was all proud of myself for finding the logo for the Sydney Olympics. Because I came up with it before the Sydney Olympics. So nobody knew what the logo was. And everybody was like, did you just make up that logo? And I'm like, no, that's actually the logo. They're like, how'd you find that out? Because, of course, back then, in 1998 and 1999, people were kind of still having a hard time finding stuff on the internet. So it was one of those things where I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the internet has evolved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. The earliest of springs. In fact, I believe this is the first, in fact, picture of springs ever ever done. There's TV. And Rover. Back when Rover actually said something other than ping, apparently. Who knew? Yeah, that one took a long time to draw. A very, very long time. Check these guys out. Look how long I've been working on this design. Those are Commonwealth ships. Probably from 99. Yeah, so it says up here, 1999. My Commonwealth ships have a long history. Long history. I don't know why I can't find. Oh, hey, check this one out, Bob. That's a cell I made. Not only did I draw the Harlock, but that's actually a cell. It's actually on cellophane with cell paints. And it's from 1988 or 1989 or somewhere right around there, where we were in animation class in high school.
Damn, I don't even have my old art.
So I was like, well, yeah. Oh, and then there's the original piece. Looks like that. That's the underdrawing. Because his cloak was going to blow in the breeze, so the cell didn't have his cloak because cloak was on a different cell. So that's the original. I should redraw Harlock. I love Harlock so much.
Well, finish up with your current.
Finish up with press. Stop screwing around with those other things. Yeah, his cloak always billows in vacuum. 'Tis a thing that Harlock does. Check this guy out, though. That's 1990.
I'm jelly. I don't even have my old pictures.
So I made a rule when I was a kid. I ran into what distraction. I ran into an artist who came to our art class, like an older artist, 20s, 30s, something like, as in not a high schooler. And somebody had asked him these really, really good questions. And some of the answers were stupid. Like, he told me never to sign my name the way I sign checks, because somebody might use your signature off of your artwork to cash checks. And so for a long time, that's why I always signed as an X and an O, because I was signing as the Skull and Crossbones from Harlock. And that was stupid, but that's all right. But one of the things he had said was, don't throw away any of your art, no matter how bad it is, because you will one day want to look back at it. So I got a box and started throwing all my art in it, starting in high school, probably my junior year of high school. No, freshman year. And in doing so, I literally have artwork going all the way back to when I started drawing in 1987 or 88. And then when my mom passed away, I found that she had kept a whole bunch of my old spiral notebooks, which had other artwork in it.
Dang, lucky.
And so I was able to scan some of that in too, which is good. So yeah, I mean, I have them all sorted now in my hard drives here. And it's like the entire gang there of whom we're dealing with right now. But like, you know, it's shampoo.
I mean, oh, gangs. That reminds me of Ramen and a Hat.
That's who it's from.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's shampoo from Ranma One Half.
Oh, that's right, it is.
It took forever for me to draw this picture. Forever. Yeah. Like hours upon hours. This is the third trace to get it straight. You know? I'm glad you can identify it.
Yeah, I love Ranma and a Half.
Yeah, Ranma One Half's awesome. But yeah. So Mom kept a whole bunch of my original stuff. And so I you know, took it and have had it all these years and stuff like that. And it's been good. It's been good. Yeah, but it is kind of funny because you're right. I do have, like, I'm very lucky, but it's all because that one artist in my freshman year said, keep everything because you'll want to look back on it. And for some reason that stuck. But one of the things he had said was he was the first person to say, you'll hate all of your art. Don't worry about it. Keep it. And then look back on it in 10 years and see if it really is bad or not. I just kept it, and then being an ADDer forgot to get rid of it. So,
but now you capsule.
Right. And now, hell no, I'm not getting rid of any of this. Right? Because I've literally got my own time capsule now.
Hey, lucky.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, it is kind of like, wow, it's just really freaking lucky that I saved those. Yeah, like, here we go. This is from 1985. Like I said, Mom kept all those spirals, and I can't believe she kept all those spirals.
I had so many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff.
Right?
Back in the day.
My Star Trek comic. Legally distinct from Star Trek. Yeah, that's a thing. It wasn't the world's best, but I was getting better. That'd be fun to call myself Tapar time. Because that was my Vulcan name, man. My Vulcan name. I also did a redo of this recently, didn't I? I think I did.
Yeah, I need to sit down and go through some of my old sketchbooks and do a draw it again.
I love draw it agains every so often. I'm a little spun out right now from continuing my draw it. So that hard suit. So about that hard suit image, says Tessa. Just saying. Yeah, I should get back to that. Go back to that in a sec. I promise.
All right, I just ordered me a whole bunch of my old transparent stickers.
No, you're not being a brat. You're totally doing what we're supposed to be doing on Quack. So you are absolutely well within your rights. You're on Quack to remind us ADDers that hello, we got work to do. Focus. Focus. It's gonna be hard because this is not the hand that you can see in this image. Let's look at some other images. That. I do think I should draw the Moto Slave in. Okay, so Bob, help me out. Chris had a needler in this arm originally, but then she also had that make a fist, and it caused that pop up that was on top of which caused an explosion. So she had some kind of like magnetic mines that she could attach. I'm remembering that, but this picture is one of those her crash suit, and the other one is her crisis suit. Because like maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm forgetting. Yeah, the knuckle bombs. She had those on one suit. She lost her suit, didn't she? In episode 6. So she got a new suit after episode 6 came in 7. Both were in the original. So it must have been that she just folded her fist down and those popped up here. So I'll just put this here. There we go. Yeah, because I remember something that looked like this, if you recall. And they just popped up, and then they glowed red for a second to say that they were activated, and then she punched people and that exploded. And they exploded. Oh, that's right, she did. But then she also fired off those needles against a Booma at some point in time, and they just stuck. And they didn't actually blow up or something. They didn't do any damage.
Yeah, that was the knuckle bombs, and the laser gun was in her second suit.
That's what I thought too. She got a new suit because she got her suit was trashed in episode 6. And then episode 7, which was Double Vision, when they were fighting the four-legged spider mech, she had a completely different, or she had a new suit.
Yeah, her original suit featured three small needle guns and a larger rail gun.
That's what I thought.
You guys hear about this Denver Indigenous Artists Comic and Art Festival?
Never heard of it.
Doesn't Bad Hand put this on?
Did you get the link from me?
Yes.
No, I'm scrolling through my Facebook and I'm seeing it.
Goofball. I
My
totally
bad.
posted it. I posted it.
Oh, let me look.
Bad Hand's doing it, but
Oh, there it is, Guy Davis.
that's why I'm haranguing you. You're like, have you heard of this? I'm like, nope. Totally posted it.
When's this supposed to take place?
May?
You guys doing it?
I can't because they drafted me. The Bad Hands drafted me.
That sounds really, really terrible.
Yeah, well, I get drafted into conventions all the time. It's a normal thing. But it's actually funny because it was like, I'll help you out if you want me, if you want any help. And they're like, awesome. And then I was like, so who's your board? And they're like, so you are. And I'm like, what? What? Totally. Such a raff way to do things. Her hands are way too long. That's right, though. Wonderful thing.
So it's just you on the board, you and him so far?
No, well, the Bad Hands, me, and I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
Oh,
fine.
snap.
It's all right. They've got it under control. I mean, honestly, Christina is so together and with it. She's like 5 people. The biggest problem with Christina is you've got to make sure she doesn't burn herself out. Because she will. She'll burn herself completely out.
I'm burned out right now just by sitting here.
Yeah, just thinking about it burns you out, huh?
Man, tell me about it. Did you see that the guy who did Gen 13 died?
Yeah.
Oh man, Gen 13 was my jam.
Thank you, Bob. So it's interesting looking at her plug suit as a practical thing, or a plug suit. I keep saying plug suit. Hard suit is a practical thing. That's the handhold that she uses to pull the bottom part up. This red thing right here. I find that fascinating because it needs to be right there. But when she pulls the suit together, she puts her hands inside these and pulls them up, and everything claps together around her legs. That's just really well thought out. I love well thought out mechanicals.
All right. Well, speaking of mechanicals, I'm gonna go take a fat dump.
Yeah, that's more than we need to know, but okay.
Yeah, that's a TMI moment right there.
Right there. We love you anyway.
I'll see you guys later.
See you later, man. Make it kind of indented like that. So was the knuckle bombs something that came in her second suit? I guess it was in her second suit.
Yeah, it was her second suit.
Yeah, we can make that work. Right? Just a little bit of TMI there. All right. Moving across the lats. Ugh. And now I'm kind of confused as to which suit she was wearing underneath here. Man, Bubblegum Crisis so defined cyberpunk in its own way.
And yet it's largely forgotten now, which is a shame.
Which is a shame. BGC was a watershed moment for me. As a teenage boy, we had cute girls and mecha. How could I possibly go wrong? You know what I mean? Like, as a teenage boy, that was a thing. I was all about this. It's funnier too because as an older man now, I don't have all the teenage boy stuff, but I love the mecha still, and the cute girls are still good, and that's really cool. I like the juxtaposition though of it. You know what I mean? Like I love the softness of a human with the hardness of the suit juxtaposed to against each other, and I really enjoyed that part now. So there's like I'm still getting stuff out of this some 30 years later. Can't say the same about Dirty.
It's actually it's fun to go through old anime that really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Them in older eyes.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad. I'm having a real hard time with Dirty Pair. It's just a little too over on the misogynistic side. And now I don't have the tolerance for it. I as a teenage boy, I didn't notice it. I didn't see it. And now I do. And yeah. It's like a little too much. All the ones with the kind of stupid fan service, showing panties.
Like Project Echo.
Project Echo. Panty shots for panty shots' sake and stuff like that. I'm over it.
Yeah, that was Agent Ica. Wasn't there an entire thing with Agent Ica that they were like
intentionally doing that?
Yeah.
Yes. Which I remember at that time thinking, ha, that's very funny and kind of interesting. Maybe I'll watch that. Because I was, 22, 21, And now I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
And I'm just like, I got better things to watch.
And now you look at, like, even Vampire Hunter or Ninja Scroll. You look at those, and those had violence for violence sake in it.
It's like Chainsaw Man. Tess is talking about Evangelion, and yeah, Evangelion was a different watershed for me. Evangelion was the point where I really started to dig sort of psychological horror, because I've never been Tessa, just so you know, I hate jump scares. They trigger the wrong fight or flight in me, and so they trigger the wrong chemicals, and they make me really unhappy and sick. And so my brain floods my body with the wrong kind of the stress chemicals and stuff like that, and it's no fun. So I don't like jump scares. So I've never watched horror, and because nobody seems to be able to make a horror flick without the cat jumping off of the shelf or whatever, they can't seem to do it. And so those jump scares, that's it. It makes me feel sick, and then I hate the movie. And so when Evangelion came out, I watched it because giant robots. And I've always been a giant robot fan, and I will always be a giant robot fan. And as the show progressed, it slowly delved into psychological horror, and I loved it. As a 20-something that had never really watched horror flicks, as a kid or anything like that, I didn't realize there was any kind of horror out there that would be interesting to me. And so,
by the way,
yeah, Bob,
do you know why they
I think
do that?
Di did it once too. I think Di did Ica once, and then we were like, I think this is too much, guys. So I think we were with you. So anyway, all I'm saying is I found that fascinating, and I agree with you, Tess.
By the way, do you know why they put the scares in there?
To put you on edge?
No. Actually, to relieve the edge.
Oh.
They're doing it to break the tension, because it forces you to release so that they can build it higher.
Yeah. I don't think I like any of that plan. It still sounds horrible to me.
But that's why they do it in horror. It's a quick release.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that's definitely her. And I'm not gonna, you are not wrong. You are totally spot on. I am not gonna naysay that argument. Nor am I gonna naysay the fact that you don't like her. I don't blame you. I loved her for a lot of reasons. The primary reason that I love her, though, is because she was different. Up until Evangelion, the characters that were coming out of Japan were cookie cutter, pretty similar, and she was so radically different, and I loved that. It was a break, broke out of the mold. And I don't know if I was faced with Asuka today, like if you were to show me a new anime with Asuka as the character with no background of Asuka, whether I would like her. I think I might be with you on her going, she's just broken for broken's sake. But yes. Well, and I did too. I really and Bob's right. It was her PTSD on her own that broke her down, and she ultimately ended up exploding on her own. It is midnight local. And I do care because I'm up with the Dawn Patrol with the kid. But I feel like we've come a long way on this. I need to take breaks from time to time because this is just too intense. I think it's funny, though, that had we done this with a maquette, it'd be done by now. So maybe as a cap to my statement earlier, maybe one of the things that I'm kind of thinking
good exercise for you.
Well, yeah, but I think to remind me that there's a reason why I use the maquettes. You know. Yep, use Cayen's electroshock. But I think that that's also good to do this every so often so that I'll remember why I use maquettes. So, all right. Okay, well, thank you for hopping in here, Cayen. I'm sorry I keep making you think that I have...
You are very welcome, sir.
...delved back into the dark abyss of pre-2015 Guy. That hole from like 2005 to 2015. But it's all right. And thank you for joining me, Bob. And I know that you're also sort of going, Guy, just kind of stop doing it, man. And Tessa, I really appreciate you joining me as well. And I'm sad that your maquette, my maquette's sad for your maquette. I'm just saying. Anyway. I appreciate all of you guys for being here. I'm going to leave my maquette like this, and then my kid's going to wake up tomorrow morning and be freaked out by it. I think that's going to be even funnier. I feel like that makes my day. Because no matter what, in the end, I'm still a dad, and dads have a mean streak. We all do. We're just built with it. It's a thing. We have a little bit of a mean streak. All of us do. Right? Weeping angel bait. All right. We are out of here. It is time for us to all hit the hay. Right? You get me up at that time in the morning, and that's what you get, man. I had to wake up with your butt at freaking 3 a.m. So you earned it. And right now, Tessa, I don't know where yours is, but mine's 12, and we're in 7th grade, and so we're struggling with grades and things like that, and arguing with teachers and all of the things. So we're working on that problem. So you probably are following in some way or another. So it's all good. All right. I am OOH. I'll see you guys in the morning for the morning stream, which will be, yep. Special needs adds a whole level of complication to the thing. So, Respect. That's a thing. So you won't hear any argument out of me. So okay, I'm leaving. See you later, Cayen. Thanks for joining me.
See ya.
Stay warm. Please stay warm.
I am very warm.
Excellent. Don't burn your thingy down either by staying warm.
Yeah, that would be the bad.
That would be the bad part. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And as always, everybody, keep your eyes on the stars. Good night and good day to you, Tessa. Bye-bye.
Bye.